Yes, Muhammad Yakubu joins us next. He's the national convener, Atiku Okowa Patriots. He's also NEC member for the Arewa Consultative Forum. Good morning, and thank you for joining us at the program today.
Thank you. Good to see you again, Mr. Chamberlain and Maokwe.
Thank you.
Good to see you, sir.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Thank you. Now, about this policy, it's different strokes for different folks. What do you think of what's going on?
Well, first of all, I want to sympathize and empathize with the pains Nigerians are going through. But I want to also appeal to Nigerians that there is no gain without pains. In a couple of days, Nigerians will be going to the polls. We should just please bear with the government. It's a fantastic and great policy that will help us sanitize our elections. Those governors who are crying wolf about this policy now, where were they when Emefiele was giving them all sorts of bailout, when the president was giving them all sorts of bailout, which did not trickle down to the people, and anchor borrowers' loans? Where were they? But we are totally with the president on this, to de-weaponize, demonetize elections. If you remember 2015...
So who are we in this case?
Nigerians, a lot of Nigerians, majority of Nigerians, majority of us are with the president on this.
So which Nigerians are you appealing to?
I'm appealing to...
If you say majority of Nigerians are with you on this.
I'm appealing to those who are not on board with the president on this, that please come on board. It's a fantastic policy that will help us sanitize the elections. If you remember 2015, we contributed money for the president. The president didn't have money. I still have my recharge card that I contributed money to the president's post for his campaign.
Why are you still keeping it?
For the records. Okay. For the records. Anytime I'm able to see the president tomorrow in private or anywhere in the public, I'll show him that I made this contribution to your campaign. But unfortunately, you didn't fulfill your promises.
So I'm just a little curious, because the first thing you said is I sympathize with you, Nigerians, you know, I sympathize with fellow Nigerians, and they should just bear the pain for a while. Then you say you support the president, and you think this is a good policy. But for a number of people, they think, especially members of the ruling party, they believe that this policy not only has, you know, could have a negative effect on their chances at the polls. Because when you inflict or when you bring such a policy at a time when people are about to vote, usually you don't bring painful policies at the time of elections. Is that what political parties do? Or is that what governments do?
When Nigerians were going through pains of fuel, no light, when ASU was on strike for 8 months, where were these governors? Where were the ruling party? Did they speak out? Why didn't they take the president to the court at that time?
I asked a different question.
That's what I'm giving you an answer to it.
The question I'm asking you is, I mean, you have admitted that this policy is affecting people.
Exactly.
And it is a painful policy. I mean, because it goes right at the heart of even the things that they would have used to buy these other commodities, which is the money that they would use. So if that is the situation, I mean, for a number of people, the first question, the basic question to ask is, do you bring a policy that inflicts pains on people, you know, a few months or even days to an election?
It's not deliberate by the president to inflict pains on Nigerians. Don't forget that in the last 3 months, right from October, the president gave notice. Where were these governors? Why didn't they come out to challenge the president at that time? I'm not saying that the policy is perfect. There are some hiccups. If I were to advise the CBN, all the CBN need to do at that time was that they should have printed more of the lower denominations, 50 Naira coins and 100 Naira. Then you can withdraw the 500s and the 1,000.
Isn't that the bone of contention? Isn't that where the people are feeling the pains?
That's what I'm telling you.
Is the pains not about the fact that the money itself is scarce? That's
what I'm telling you. If the coins were available and the 50 Naira and the 100 Nairas were available, won't be where we are now. So there's a hiccup in the implementation, there's no doubt about that. But what I'm telling you is that there is no pains that will not come with some gains.
What if people tell you, okay, we hear you, we will sympathize or give it a chance to work.
Yeah.
But, Mr. President and people in government just obey the court order. Don't violate the court order, which they say now is lawyers, different lawyers say he's going against the court order by saying, I have approved that 200 Naira be in circulation contrary to the proceedings going on in court.
Let me tell you, the courts don't have security report at the disposal of Mr. President.
Do they have to?
They have to. What the president should have done was to call the CJ and share some of these security reports with him that, look, I have this number of politicians who have stashed money to buy votes. So I would want your understanding and your consideration when this case come up. Why are they shouting? Is it not APC? Is the president not the leader of the APC? Is he not an APC member? Why are other parties, 17 other political parties, why are they not shouting wolf?
But you are not a member of the APC.
I'm not a member of the... That's what I'm telling you.
So
that
now,
why are they shouting? If there is no fire on the mountain, why are they shouting?
Yeah, but those who are members of the APC, who
Yes.
are inside, who perhaps have more details than those who are not members of the APC because they have the privilege of sitting with the president at their party meetings. Some of them are already saying the president is out to truncate democracy. They're already saying it is legal tender in their own states. So that means they have something of information.
When the president was going around with these governors raising their hands against the people's wish that the people should vote for them, that time the president was not about to truncate democracy. It's now that he has their balls in his hands. That's why they are saying.
How do we prove it?
How do you prove it?
That he has. How do we prove what you say?
That's what they are saying now, that because they don't have enough money, they can't have access to enough money to buy votes.
Has anybody said they don't have enough money to buy votes?
That's what they are complaining. Didn't you hear the House of Reps member yesterday, leader of APC, Adodogwa? Yesterday he was saying on the either in one of your channels or NTA or AIT, I heard him saying that he needs 70 million constitutionally.
No. I think what he said
the
law allows him
70 million.
Not just him, those in that position for campaigns. Is he right or wrong?
It's right. Do you need, if you are that popular, you don't need money to campaign. No, but Buhari 2015, he didn't have money.
No, but he only cited the position of the law.
No, look, come on.
Didn't he?
Come on, Chamberlain. We are in Nigeria, we know these things.
What do we know?
What do we know is that they needed this money to buy votes.
You make it seem like as if it's only the ruling party that buy votes.
They are the ones that are shouting
I
wolf.
mean, yes, they could be the one shouting wolf, but
Yes.
you make it seem like as if it is only the APC that intends to buy votes or that has ever bought votes.
Tell me other party
because from the reports that we gather on the field is that all the parties are culpable in
but
this.
some of them are more culpable than the other.
So you agree that your party could have been culpable in the past?
No, I don't agree. I don't agree to that. Did you see PDP's rally in Jigawa? Did you see it? Where would Atiku have gotten that kind of money to buy those people that came there?
I listened to the governor of Rivers State, and he has spoken out very loudly against the president's decision. In fact, he thinks that the decision of the CBN to redesign the Naira is heavily political, and he says it's bad advice. And he says, does the president or is it the CBN think that politicians will not have money to run elections? And he asked that question and he said, foul, that it is not possible that politicians will not have money if
they have money. Why are you crying then? If you have money, why are you complaining? If you have the money to run your elections, there's no need for you to complain then.
But who should then complain on behalf of the people? If the people do not have...
They are not complaining on behalf of the people. If they are complaining on behalf of the people, when they came into power 2015, rice was 7,000. Fuel was 180 something. Dollars was about 200 and something. If they are complaining, if they are for the people, they would have taken the president up on this, that the people cannot afford to buy food now. So but it's not for the people.
There are a number of, issues that we have seen come up, in the course of the 7 years of the APC, and there are legitimate questions to be asked as to how, how much of the activists we're seeing in our governors now came out then. But this is really...
Well, I'm happy that this is coming from
Just a moment. This is really strange. I mean... talking to a number of Nigerians, they say we've had all manner of hardships. But a situation where we use our own money to buy our own money, they have never heard of it. It is the strangest of the strange.
Let me ask you one question, Maupe. All these fantastic policies APC is now preaching, their candidate is now preaching to Nigerians that they will do if they get power. Why didn't the president is an APC member, and he's the leader of the party. All these policies they are now preaching to us as Nigerians, why didn't they give it to him to improve governance in Nigeria in the last 7 to 8 years? Why?
But you can't
there are two things. Wait a minute, Chamberlain. There are two things. Either they are deceiving Nigerians or they didn't want the president to succeed. Now, when the president was talking to them before primaries of the presidential primaries, he subtly approached the governors. Please, allow me to nominate my successor. They didn't. They refused.
The thing is this.
Now he brought a policy that he thinks he wants to leave a legacy for Nigeria. The kind of election that brought him to power is that kind of election he wants to live.
We have heard security agencies say when it has to do with insecurity,
yes,
and people question them, why are things going this way? They say, look, we do have intelligence, and we submit it to the highest quarters. So, but we still have the challenge we have. So that's why I'm saying, look, we don't know whether they execute them or not. So if they submit those security intelligence and advice, and whoever is at the head chooses to obey them or not, it's a different matter.
Why didn't they come out the way they are coming out now with some activism?
Just building up to this.
Yeah.
When you now say, why didn't they give this to this? You can't, how can you say for sure that those things were not submitted and somebody did not act on them?
Let me cite an example for you. When, especially on this redesigning of Naira, when they now know, some of these governors, when they now know that the thing has heated them, didn't you see, didn't they come out and open up? Open confrontation with the president.
So, I'm trying, which word hit them? This Naira policy?
Naira redesign. They came up with an open confrontation with the president. When our people were being killed, kidnapped, all sorts of things are happening. People cannot move freely, security situation and so on. If they had done anything about it, why didn't they come out to say so?
Will that really be fair? I mean, because, I mean, much as, yes, it is the governors whom we have seen lead this.
Yeah.
In the National Assembly, we saw how many meetings were, how many plenaries were dedicated to just talking about security. We saw even how many security meetings the president himself was holding with his security chiefs. We saw. So when you say that nothing was done about it, I mean, would that really be a fair statement to make?
It's fair. If I was a member of the National Assembly at that time and nothing is being done, I resign. Because I failed in my duties. I would resign.
Your duties to do what? To provide security?
No, my duties to provide solution to the security. I'll resign. Why should I still be there?
But
I'll resign. And it will be on record that at so point in time, I gave so advice, I did so and so, and it was not heeded to. I resigned.
Are you supporting this because you think that the policy will favor the PDP?
No, I'm not supporting that. All along, if you remember, all along, I've been one of the critics of Buhari. The first 6 months he took over in 2015, I came to Lagos to had an interview with you on his ministers. And I told you that the North and some of us would be the first people to criticize him if he's going wrong. Most of us that supported him, that worked for him, we didn't do it because of what we will get. In the last 7 to 8 years, there was nothing that made me close to the president.
All right, let's bring our colleagues in from Lagos.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. Well, Mr. Yakubu, natural question I would want to ask you first is, I mean, you know that there are protests all over the nation, well, in different parts of the country, about this policy of government, the scarcity of the Naira notes, to the extent that, as at this morning, the papers report that the banks have lost up to 5 billion Naira in property. So when you say many Nigerians or most Nigerians are on the side of government, I reiterate Malquest's question to you, which segment of Nigerians and how are they demonstrating their support when in the facts reveal that many people are protesting and do not have access to their own money? Can you hear me, Mr.
Number
Yakubu?
one, let me tell you, Coyote. Sorry, Ayo. Let me tell you, in the last 1 week, I don't have up to 10,000 in my pocket. I don't have up to 10,000 in my pocket. And these Nigerians are going to show you their protest in the next couple of days by the party, by voting for the party of their choice. You will see that protest in reality during the next couple of days.
Okay, well, that's on the one hand. The other angle to it is, as Makwe, I think it was Chamberlain or Makwe that asked you, most of the people cannot have access to the media strongly enough to speak their minds. And the only way they could do it was to go to the streets. And these are the issues that many governors, including members of your party, members of the Nigeria Governors Forum, protesting and saying to the federal government, this policy is not good at this time. Are you also running against governors on the platform of your party?
No. Let me tell you, there could be differences in principle. Some of us, I can assure you that this election, this coming election, in a couple of days, you will notice and you will see that the people will defy their governors, will defy their leaders. Because quite a number of them don't have the goodwill that, you know, that they could direct people to vote which direction the people should follow. So the governors are just minute numbers in when you talk about 200 and something million Nigerians. So they can take their decision whichever way they like, but I can assure you that a lot of Nigerians are with them, and they will show this protest in their voting pattern in a couple of days.
Well, Mr. Yakubu, we'll wait to see that. When we were speaking earlier, I noted that you said that, justifying the Naira redesign policy, you said that what the president should have done was to present to his Attorney General a security report that he has intelligence that some politicians want to perpetrate vote buying. But in doing that, shouldn't he have, observed the laws of the land? The Electoral Act is clear on vote buying, and indeed other laws are clear on voter inducement. Shouldn't he have invoked the laws of the land rather than wait until he has been, taken to court before he introduces that intelligence report?
Let me correct you. I didn't say the Attorney General. I said he should have called the Chief Justice of Nigeria and shared the intelligence and security report at his disposal with him. Then, number two, there are certain decisions that the president has to take that might not be in the interest of the few. And these few are the very few people that are instigating, are precipitating this crisis and protest that you are seeing. So I don't think the president has broken any law. The president has, in his broadcast yesterday, he said he has approved the use of 200 Nairas. So it's only the 500 and the 1,000 that is the issue at stake now. And maybe in the next couple of days, the case is still in the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court will decide it. But before then, I will expect the president to call the judiciary, maybe the CJN, and share some of this intelligence report with them, so that they know few people are not above the law, and they cannot determine what happens to about 200 and something million Nigerians.
So does that justify the difficulty being inflicted on Nigerians? Vote buying is a separate matter, don't you think, Mr. Yakubu?
No, it doesn't justify it. Like I told you earlier, I said there are some hiccups in the implementation. There's nothing we can do about that. There's no pains, there's no gain that comes without some pains. I'm appealing to some of, I just told you that in the last 1 week, I couldn't assess 10,000. As I'm sitting down with you, I don't have 1 kobo on me. It's some of the pains that we have to go through and to make our elections sanitized and credible.
So that's the contradiction.
We should help.
Pardon me, that's a contradiction in your commentary that I'm trying to reconcile. In one breath, you say that you supported the president and you have documentation, you know, at the time that he came to power of how you supported him, but then he failed on his promise. And then in another breath, you are commending the president for this policy. Why are you singling out this particular policy in your support for the president?
And I have not, I'm singling out this policy in support of the president because it will help us sanitize our elections. It's going to make our election credible. It's going to demonetize our elections. That's why I'm supporting him. And I'm not saying I have documents to support my support for him in 2015. All I said is that I have a ticket that I bought in support of him that were publicized in 2015 for people to buy, you know, to support him financially. That's what I said. I didn't say I have documents to support, to show that I supported President Buhari in 2015. I said I have recharge cards that I bought to support him in 2015.
I guess we'll wait, Mr. Yakubu, to see how the Nigerians, you say, are in support of this policy of government react to these comments that you've made. Yes. But for now, we have to thank you very much for being a part of our conversation today. Mohammed Yakubu is national convener at Atiku Patriots. He's also a member of the Executive Council of the Arewa Consultative Forum. Thank you again for your time today.
Thank you very much.